Hey YouTube, Island Homesteader here. Just a quick look at this drip irrigation kit that I picked up the other day at Home Depot. It's a Rainbird 47-piece gardener's drip kit. Comes with a lot of stuff. Backflow Preventer, the regulator, and then the adapter to go from the 1/2 inch to the hose. It's got this 50-foot piece of 1/2 inch emitter tubing. It's already got holes in it so that it drips out at 0.9 gallons an hour on every 18 inches. And it's got 50 feet of 1/2 inch tubing, 50 feet of 1/4 inch tubing, a couple of 1/2 inch barb connectors, a couple, 3 1/2 inch tees, 2 1/2 inch elbows, an enclosure, some stakes to hold it down, a tool, the install tool to poke the holes, and then some 1/4 inch fittings, the tees, the couplings, some plugs in case you make a mistake, 5 1 gallon per hour spot waterers, and some tubing stakes, plus complete instructions. So here's the emitter tubing. I won't be using that up here. There's the 1/2 inch that I will be using. Here's all the parts and pieces that it comes with. I can't see the glare on that bag. That's all the parts and pieces in. I had to pick up some extra pieces. I needed some more stakes because there's not enough for the 13 plants. Some more couplers. 2 packages of those. I needed another elbow. And I just realized when I was looking at it that my emitters are 1/2 gallon an hour and the ones that come in the kit are 1 gallon. I pulled this out of the bin at Home Depot that was labeled 1 gallon, didn't look at the package. Lesson learned, are 1/2 gallons. So some of these will get a little bit more water than the others, that's all. Alright, I'm going to start putting this together, and I'll shoot some video as I go. Alright, here we go. The first part you got to put on is this Backflow Preventer, which does just what it says. It just keeps the water from going back into the house water system. And then this piece is the pressure regulator. It takes whatever is coming from the house, from your hose bib, whatever pressure that is, and takes it down to, in this case, it's 25. Yeah, the 50-25 means it's 25 psi, so that just screws on by hand, just like any other fitting. Be a lot easier, I'm sure, if I wasn't on camera. But alright, so there's the first 2 pieces, and then there's this connector here that goes from the hose fitting to the 1/2 inch pipe. So that's what I'm going to hook up next. Okay, here it is, hooked up to the faucet. Backflow Preventer, excuse me. Pressure reducer, and then this adapter to go from the hose thread to this piece of 1/2 inch. Installs really quick, it's real easy. And I got a piece of the 1/2 inch tubing running down the deck. I'm going to clamp it down to the deck and poke some places in it to put the feeder tubes into each of the buckets. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, I ran out of time and light last night to record, so let me catch you up to where we are this morning. We've got everything hooked up to the hose bib, and 1/2 inch line is run down the deck, across the deck, and then up behind the plants, and it just bends up there in the corner to those other 3. And I did get 5, these 5 over here up against the house. I've got them already hooked up to the line, and that was real simple. Just punched a barb connector into the 1/2 inch line and then ran a 1/4 inch up. There's my drip emitter. That's a 1/2 gallon an hour, and then ran it inside the bucket. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, here we go. So we run up, barb connector out of the 1/2 to the 1/4, run up to the drip emitter, into the bucket with a holder, and it's just got a little bug guard there on the end to drip. So that's where we're at. I've got the rest of these to do, and we'll get them all tied in and get the air out of the system, and we'll start dripping, and I'll show you that when I get it done. Okay, I don't usually do a whole lot of up close, actual hands-on detailed how to do it stuff, because I'm doing this by myself. I usually don't have anybody to hold the camera for me, but I just wanted to show you that this is how I've done each one of these individual ones. So you've got the 1/2 inch main line with a barb connector already punched in right there. Going to this 1/4 inch. Now I take the 1/4 inch line and soak it in a little bit of hot water just to make it soft, make it easier to push on the barb. That's the hardest part, is pushing it onto this barb connector. So all you do is you push that 1/2 inch line down onto your connector. This is really difficult with one hand. Okay, so it's on there. You bring your line up to figure out how much you need, and we're going to cut it right there. I don't know how well this is going to work, but let's see. And this stuff is easy. You just cut it with scissors. Alright, so we've got the piece we want. Let's double check that it does go right. Alright, now what you got to do, or the way I'm doing it anyway, is you got to put the dripper in line somewhere here. So you figure out, the way I've been doing is figure out about where the edge of the pot is, right here, and you're going to cut it again. Okay, now I put the 2 ends back down in my cup of hot water to get them soft. So now we've got the drip emitter. This is a 1/2 gallon an hour. Probably won't be able to read that, but it says 1/2 gallon GPH right there, 1/2 gallon an hour. So that's that. This is the little stake that holds it in place in the pot, and you got to do a couple of things. It's got this bug guard right here, and this is the top, the cap that when you slide your line down in the hole, it goes across the top to hold it tight. So you've got to cut the bug guard off. We did that, and now you got to cut this cap loose right here. Okay, so now we've done that. Now this should be soft enough now. Let's see if we can set this camera down. Here we go. Alright, so now it's just as simple as you slide the barbed end. There's 2 ends of the drip emitter. That's the sharp barbed end, and this is the drip emitter end. So you take the barb end and just push it into the hose coming out of the 1/2 inch main line, and then you take and push another piece of hose onto the outside fitting of the emitter, and that gives you this right here. You got it coming out of the main line, 1/4 inch to the emitter, and then we come to an end. Now on the end you put the bug guard, and all this is a tube, and it's got a little thing in there to keep big bugs, little bugs, I guess. Ants are probably still going to be able to get through there, but it'll keep the big bugs out. So there's 2 ends. There's one end that's slightly bigger. I don't know if you can see that. It's slightly bigger than that. So this is the end that it's going to drip from. This end, you just slip the 1/4 inch line right in, and you bring it up here and figure out about where you're going to put it. Okay, so now what we've got to do is, now all it is, it's this stand, or this stake, this tubing stake. So we've slid it into the hole we want, and now the cap comes over. You just got to squeeze it a little bit. The cap comes the cap comes over and snaps into place. So that's what it looks like with the stake on it and the bug guard on the end. So now all you do is you figure out where in here in the plant you want it. This one's probably going to have a branch snipped off. And you just figure out where in the plant you want it, and you just set it in there. And it's really that simple. This is easy. I mean, this kit, like I said, is a Rainbird kit. It came from Home Depot with all this stuff. I did have to buy a few extra pieces, but it was like $25 or something at Home Depot. And it's easy. So if I can do it, like I've said before, if I can do it, anybody can do it. Alright, so that's what it looks like. Okay, here we go, finished product. To cap off the end, you just use this fitting that folds it back on itself and just holds it tight. It just basically just crimps the hose off. And that's it. She's running, got all the air out of her, she's dripping away. So each tomato plant up here now on the deck has its own drip emitter. And the last thing I'll need to do is get a timer and set it to come on, you know, an hour a day or something early in the morning. And that's it. We're done. Let me look down the back side of this one over here and show you. There you go. You can see each pot has its own little line going to it. And everybody is getting watered.